I'm being forcibly removed from the building again of a public lobby, so.
So if you want to take off that gun and badge, I'm happy to scrap with you one day. You want to do it, let's do it. Let me know, buddy.
That is not a crime, and you're telling me to get out of my vehicle.
Do you know where Lieutenant Mingus is right now? So, no, he's not in the building?
I don't know. I'm not.
What do you know?
Okay, I don't want that man taking my picture. Why don't you take him out of here?
Sir, you hit me.
You hit me. Okay?
Sir, okay, now
you take my picture. I don't know you.
I'm not telling you nothing else until I find out who's driving that vehicle. You not a supervisor, bro. I need somebody higher than you right now.
If you didn't know, I went to the police academy and they kicked me out.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Spit me on my face right now. She spit in my face.
Today's video takes us to Seattle, Washington. Now this video is probably around 2 years old, I'm guessing, but it shows Glenn Serio trying to get a police, in his words, hazard warning removed from his record. I don't think it's a hazard warning. I think it's a police alert. That's what it really is. Yeah, because Glenn has a reputation in Washington State as being a cop hater. And when you hate cops that much, they're going to tell the other cops about it. Yeah, because he is a hazard to himself and others around him. Well, I never saw this video on Glenn's channel before, and I do have a couple of videos about him trying to get this off his record, but I didn't have this one. And I got it from a Facebook account by the name of Fabian Santos. Now, I have a screenshot at the end of the video. You can see where I got it from. But I'll be combing through there and see if I can find any other tidbits which I may not have posted. I did cut about 10 minutes out of this video. There's a lot of dead air, but that's what I do. Enjoy!
Hello? I need to speak to like a detective or something.
What do you need to speak with somebody about?
What's up?
What do you need to speak with somebody about?
There's a hazard warning on my record and I want it removed.
Okay. A detective here is not going to be able to help you with that.
But somebody put it on here, so they have to, you know. I don't want to be shooed away. I want to speak to someone. So I don't want to be given a 1-800 number.
For anyone not familiar with Glenn Serio, this is him. I call him GlennDuh. Other people call him much meaner things, but I'm not like that. I'm not going to get down and dirty. But he's known to police. Believe me, he's on all the watch lists in the Pacific Northwest. Most likely in Oregon and California as well. No doubt about that. But at any rate, he thinks he's on a hazard list. Well, to think about it, he is a hazard. Yep, he's a hazard to limb and life, no doubt about it. But he's been so belligerent with the police and just so out in left field that all the police agencies in Washington State have shared information about him, and now he's known to police. Well, he doesn't like that so much, and he wants to get off that list. Problem is, once you're on that list, you're going to stay on that list forever. There's no getting off the list. So, enjoy, Glenn, because you did it to yourself. Hey, I heard you moved out of Washington State. You didn't come to Ohio, did you? Well, I hope you did.
Okay, the only people here that are you going to be able to speak with the people that you make appointments with.
Okay, let's do that right now.
Who do you need an appointment with?
Who's available?
That's not how it works here. These people have, the detectives here have specific jobs and specific...
Homicide.
You want to make an appointment with homicide? I can give you the homicide's number and you can make an appointment.
Can I have a copy of the whole sheet?
No, you cannot.
Who says?
I do.
Let me speak to your sergeant.
This is one of Glenn's trademarks. He always demands to speak to the supervisor. If it's a lieutenant, then he wants to see the captain. If it's the captain, he wants to see the chief. He just never gives up. He reminds me of a Karen, except he's not a Karen. He's a GlennDuh. He's a loser. Look at how he went to court. I would never appear in a court of law like that, especially if I was trying to stay out of jail, which is what he was trying to do that day. Look at that. Man, he's got on stretch pants, and I don't know what kind of jacket that is. Woo! That must be about a 6XL. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? 6XL. Hey, you know what? It's okay to have a few extra pounds. I have some myself, but not like that. And in such a short period of time, too. Well, that's what eating at Taco Bell every day, 5 days a week will do for you. No doubt about it. Let's get back to our story.
5 minutes later.
We're going to try and find a sergeant for you.
How long will that take?
Sorry?
How long will that take?
I have no idea.
They're going to try to find who? Sullivan?
A sergeant.
Sergeant.
Said you wanted to speak with the sergeant.
That's right.
The sergeant's not answering his phone. The other sergeant that's in my unit is not answering the phone. So they're going to try and find a sergeant for you.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to wait. And I can't get a copy of the public record?
I don't make copies for people there, no. If it's a public record, you can go online and get it, or you can request it through the public disclosure unit.
I mean, can I take a picture of it?
No.
Do you think that's right?
Do what now?
I mean, I'm asking for a copy of the public record.
I'm not going to give you a copy. This is our public unit. This is our public request unit. Anything that's public that you need, you can get through here.
Okay, so what is that form called?
What is what form called?
The one you're looking at, where
That's our phone list.
Okay.
That's an internal phone list.
Oh, dearie me, GlennDuh. You should meet Goat Boy because he's an expert on requesting public records. Now, the only problem is you're going to have to move to Chicago. But on the other hand, that might be a good thing because nobody in Chicago probably knows you, and it's a big city. And then you could learn all about FOIA statues. Not statutes, statues. And you could sit around with Anthony Lopez foot on foot, leg on leg. That doesn't sound so good, does it? Well, anyway, you could do that. And you could learn all about archives. Oh, I suggest that you move to Chicago. First and foremost, my good man.
Well, I mean, that's the copy I want because I need to make contacts because you're not giving me the proper information.
You didn't ask for contacts. You wanted to speak with the sergeant. If you want a copy of that, I don't know if you're allowed to have a copy of that. You would go through public disclosure request and they'll tell you if you can have a copy of that.
I mean, I can ask them, but I feel like it's you're just denying me service right away.
I didn't deny you anything other than a copy of something because I don't make copies for people.
I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be.
No, it's not. You came in here asking for a sergeant. I'm trying to get a sergeant to come down and talk to you. Then you're saying you want a copy of...
Because I don't know who to speak to, and you think I know who to speak to. I have no idea who works in this building. There's probably 1,000 people that work in this building, but you're refusing to point me in the right direction. Who do you want to speak to? I just assumed homicide, because I don't have any idea. If I had the phone record, I could...
I told you I would give you the number to homicide. You didn't want it.
I do want it, but I want more than that, because I feel like that's not the right answer, you know?
Well, I can only answer the questions you're asking me, sir.
Well, I mean, this is kind of...
Oh, poor GlennDuh's gonna cry in a minute, officer. You have to respect him. He's a member of the public. And don't forget, you work for him. You're his personal servant. I wonder how he felt that time when he was in Washington and got a little taste of the hot sauce. Ooh, that must have been pretty bad. Yeah, you got tear gas and hot sauce. It just wasn't a good day at all, boy. Well, anyway, poor Glenn, yeah, he's not going to get his way today, and he's not going to get that hazard warning removed. He should have a hazard warning attached to him. He's like a truck that backs up. You know those kind that go beep, beep, beep? You know.
So basically, I'm trying to get some information from this officer, but he's not being very helpful. He's more being like, he can't.
What information do you need?
Well, I don't know who to speak to about my concern. So I asked him, he thinks I automatically know 1,000 people that work in this building. So I asked him for a copy of the call list, and he says he will not.
Give that. You have to go through public disclosure.
I mean, so then I just said homicide, you know, because I don't know who to talk to, but, and he's, you know, so my issue is I have a hazard warning ID that's been labeled on my record or whatever, and it's causing police to harass me, and I want it removed.
What's the hazard for? Did it say what agency put it there?
It says Seattle PD.
I can't speak for anyone else, but when I think of a hazard sign, I'm thinking of a freeway sign, that there's some construction ahead, or if I'm in a hospital, they have those biohazard signs, or radiation signs. Whoa, hazard to Glenn means what? Somebody's put something on his police record that he doesn't like. That's a hazard? Well, like I said earlier, Glenn is a hazard. He's a hazard to himself. He's a health hazard to himself. Man, you better take off about 100 pounds or you're going to wind up in the hospital, brother. And that's just an outward observation. No doubt. You could live to be 1,000. Who knows?
How long ago was your last contact with Seattle police? Was it an arrest or something? Or?
No, it was, I got pulled over by Shoreline PD. And Shoreline PD said that, I asked them why there were so many cops surrounding me, and they said that Seattle Police Department has put a hazard warning on your record to alert all police that you're a threat to law enforcement.
And it was Shoreline Police that said you had the King County Sheriff that said you had a
yes, yes. And they said it was placed on there by Seattle PD. I talked to the sergeant at the Shoreline PD, and they told me that, you know, this is why we have so many police officers surrounding you, because there's been a hazard warning placed on your record, and you are deemed as a threat to law enforcement. So, I mean, to defamate someone's character like that is
Now what do we have here? Defamate. Okay, well, let's just break that down. Defamate. Did you mean to defame someone's character? Possibly you're talking about defamation of character. Okay, well, now that we have that all cleared up, how did he defamate your character? Defamate. Yeah, how did he defamate your character? That has to be published. Yeah, well, this is just too complex for me. I'm getting a headache out of this. Let's just go ahead and continue, Glenn.
Actually highly illegal, and I mean, everything I film goes on YouTube. So every encounter I've had about this has went on YouTube, and I've been trying to get to the bottom of it for a while. And
have you filed a complaint in regards to that?
It's not going to help. That's not going to help. I mean, to talk to someone directly is going to help. Speaking to someone directly. Who are you? You're a detective?
I'm a sergeant.
You are a sergeant.
With our policy unit.
Policy unit. Okay. So you should know. I mean, you should have the, you know.
I'm trying to think. For the hazard, how would you have that? I think that officer's best guesstimate was to give you the phone number for the homicide unit. You can call them. They generally handle the hazards being put on.
So they do put the hazards?
They can.
Can I speak to a homicide detective?
Yeah, so just scan that guy right there.
But they're going to have to, best thing what I can do is just give them their contact number and give it to you.
You can't speak to no one directly here.
Listen to Glenn. The only man in the world who wears a fanny pack as a shoulder pack because it won't go around his fanny. Ha! You'd need another 3 feet of material, baby. Yeah. Oh, he's really getting upset about this. He wants some action, and he wants it now. The only thing is, he's not going to get any action, because only the person who placed that warning on there is the person who can remove it. And there's nobody in this building like that, Glenn. You should act nicer around people, Glenn. I know that's not in your nature, but you did it to yourself, sweetheart, and now you're mad at the world. I wonder where he did move to. I see he has 14,000 followers on Facebook, so I guess he can monetize that until people figure out he's over on Facebook, and then they'll start to complain about him over there, and he'll become demonetized, just like Princess Patty Cakes. Yeah, the frauditors who once had it all, and now they have nothing. That must be a terrible feeling in life.
You can't pick up the phone and, you know, call someone and say, hey, there's a guy down here who wants to talk about his hazard warning ID on his record. Is there someone available to speak to him?
Can you tell me, when was the last time you had a dealing with Seattle police where you were arrested, taken into custody, or anything?
A couple weeks ago.
Were you arrested?
No, but I was surrounded by militarized police with...
Was that Shoreline?
Yes.
Have you been arrested or handled by Seattle police?
Say again?
Have you been arrested in the city, within the city of Seattle by the Seattle Police Department?
No, I don't get arrested.
Then...
Wait a minute. Time out, GlennDuh. You were arrested at least 3 times that I can point to. No doubt about it. Here's one arrest in Mukilteo. Yeah, and then you were arrested once in Portland. No, you were arrested twice in Portland, weren't you? Oh, Glenn, such a liar. Look at him. Look at that little baby boy. Bouncing baby boy. Oh, if his mama was still alive, she'd be so proud of her bouncing baby boy. Wouldn't she, GlennDuh? Yeah. What about your dad? Is he still around? I think he is. I think he's got a record too, doesn't he, Glenn? Like father, like son. No doubt about that, sweetheart. Well, let's find out what happens in this lovely encounter with the Seattle police sergeant.
That hazard was not placed on you by us. That Shoreline officer lied to you.
Well,
because the only way that a hazard, a WASIC hazard, can be placed on you is a result of a contact. If no contact has happened where you were taken into custody, followed officers, what have you, then there'd be no hazard placed by us.
So, you asked me if I was arrested. I said no. Have I had prior contact with Seattle PD? Yes. Have I been arrested? No.
That would not result in a WASIC hazard.
What?
I said, give me that. Okay.
An NCIC hazard has to have, generally come because of an arrest. Something
Okay.
happened during an arrest.
Okay.
I was not arrested at all. I was pulled over by Seattle PD one time, and the next thing I know, there was a hazard warning on my record saying that I'm a threat to law enforcement.
Oh, Glenn, that must have been the time that you decided to answer your phone at 3 o'clock in the morning and you pulled into that parking lot by the school there. That's when all the cops surrounded your car. I remember that now, Glenn. Yeah, what would make you pull into a school parking lot at 3 o'clock and make a cell phone call? That's about the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, it really is. But stupid is as stupid does. Isn't that right, Glenn? Or how about that time you decided to pull into a parking lot at 1 o'clock in the morning and eat your Taco Bell? Why didn't you just eat the Taco Bell at the restaurant? What a bloody moron. And then people wonder, why we get in trouble with the police? Yeah, well, because you have no brain, Glenn. Hey, you can't help it your mama dropped you on your head when you were just a baby. It's her fault.
So like I said, I was pulled over one time by Seattle PD. Next thing I know, I was pulled over again by Shoreline PD. And Shoreline PD is the one that notified me that Seattle PD placed the NCIC hazard warning on my record, labeled me as a threat to law enforcement.
Were you arrested?
I was not arrested. I don't get arrested. I don't commit crimes. I'm not a criminal. I don't get arrested.
Yeah, this must be a really old video because Glenn's been arrested at least 3 times that I can recall. Poor Glenn. Boy, they just didn't have a jail uniform big enough for him, so they had to give him a woman's maternity top. The poor thing. Look at the size of those arms. Those are massive arms. They would crush you. Does he have a training bra on there as well? Oh, poor Glenn. I love his footwear, don't you? It's so fashionable. Yeah, because he can't fit his foot into a regular shoe. That's a massive foot. That's a big foot. Oh, I shouldn't insult Bigfoot like that. I do apologize for that. Let's carry on.
Did that Shoreline officer show you the WASIC?
The sergeant, I contacted the sergeant by phone, and I spoke to him, and I asked him why I was surrounded by so many officers. He says, you want to know why? Because there's been a hazard warning placed on your record labeling you as a threat to law enforcement. So they were taking precautions because of Seattle PD placed some type of warning on my record.
And you were saying that warning was placed because of one traffic stop by Seattle Police?
That was the only interaction I had with Seattle PD, is I was pulled over for, I think it was like a lane change or something, and I didn't agree with the officer, and I called the sergeant down, and the sergeant was not very helpful, and he was shoving papers through my window.
I remember that video, but I can't find the thumbnail for it right now. But it doesn't matter because we all know how Glenn operates. He refuses to take the ticket. So what happens is the police officers shove it through the window. That's what they have to do. And if the defendant's not going to take the ticket, they just push it through the window and tell them to have a nice day. Yeah. You remember that time you were arrested, Glenn, and spent the night in jail for disorderly conduct? Oh, how terrible. Oh, look at you. You're pitiful man. What are you, 38 years old now? Or I think you're 37. Yeah, you're old enough to know better. 37 years old and look at your life. It's all screwed up. Man, but I tell you one thing, you could still fix it. I don't know if you want to fix it, but you can still fix it if you really want to.
Okay, and then would you guys be able to give me a copy of that hazard warning?
And I cannot. That would have to be through public disclosure.
Okay, what is your name and badge number? It's unfortunate you can't just walk in here and get the help you need. You know, you guys could just place anything on someone's record, and then you keep referring me to go somewhere else. I'll go here, but it's like a maze, it never ends.
Well, there you have it, folks. Glenn Serio, also known as Fabian Santos. Well, I tell you what, if this is not Glenn Serio posting videos of his old exploits, somebody's making a fortune off his stuff. Glenn, you better check that out. Oh yeah, by the way, Glenn, if you happen to watch this video and you get mad because I used it, feel free to file a copyright strike, because I no longer live in fear of copyright strikes. Not on this channel, sweetheart. But at any rate, I look forward to combing through these videos and taking them for myself. No doubt about it. That's what fair use is all about, sweetheart. Hey, I'll tell you one thing though. If you enjoy watching idiots, imbeciles, and morons on my channel, please subscribe. As always, thanks so much for stopping by. Cheers to that.
Oh, you assaulted me.
I did.
You assaulted me. She assaulted me.
Oh. Yo, you're
Racist. Oh. That's a hate crime. You're being disorderly. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police.
I'm not sitting down. I refuse to sit down. I refuse. Big tough guy. Big tough guy. Big tough guy. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Nothing. You can come try to make me. You're welcome to try to make me. Take a swing. Take a swing.
What is the reason for calling the officers here?
You'll go to jail, bro. Go ahead, put your hands on me.
Bro.
Put your hands on me.
No reason I'm really unhappy that somebody did this to me.
We'll arrest you for trespassing in a minute.
On public property?
Yeah, we're asking you to leave and you're not leaving. That's trespassing.
She's right in my face, guys. You just assaulted me, ma'am. You can't come up and touch me like that.
You don't have permission to film me in any space.
I don't need permission to record you in public, ma'am. No, that's the law.
Salam yahala hamdullah. Allahu akbar. Haknuikan dakra. Ula wala fufatay.
Greetings, Dr. Dave here. There was a great deal of confusion when I posted yesterday about my members only section. I will never charge to watch content on my channel ever. Let me repeat that. There will never be a charge to watch any videos on my channel. The members only section I was referring to is strictly for live streams. It's optional. You will never pay one single penny to watch anything on my videos or live streams. It's completely optional. If you would like to join the channel, it's up to you, but it will never cost a penny to watch anything on my channel, ever. Now, let me get on with the public service announcement. Hello everyone, Dr. Dave here. Due to high demand and interest, Dr. Dave has decided to create a members-only area for all his subscribers. Several badges and emojis are currently present. I'd like your feedback. What kind of badges and emojis would you like to see? And right now, there's only one level you can join at. Let me know what other levels you'd be interested in. I really don't want to charge people extra money for an early view of a video. I believe that everyone should see the videos when they become available. But if you're really interested in something that I can provide, let me know and I will look into it. But for now, enjoy!